Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about some of the fun stuff that comes with home ownership. Okay, my buyers are going to be getting their home soon and they are coming from an apartment, but when they get their home, they are going to be able to be very creative, okay? So, this is just one of the forms. I know I talk about house buying and selling all the time. Okay, yeah, that gets boring. Get it. But when you do own a house, there are lots of quirks that you can get. Okay, so anyway, with all that said, I am going to do a crackle paint today. Uh, it's kind of an old paint. I know it's years and years and years ago. People used to do a crackle paints a lot, but I have this old door. As you can see, it's pretty old. So I'm in the garage right now, and I just want to show you how I crackle paint. I may have to hyperlapse this a little bit because it does take a little bit to dry, and nobody wants to sit and watch paint dry, right? So, okay, was all over town. Could not find Elmer's glue. This is the only thing that I could find. I went to like 6 stores. I used to be able to find a gallon of Elmer's glue like anywhere. But of course, not when I want it, right? Okay, Elmer's glue. Pretty simple paint. So, hopefully this will work. I usually do this a little bit neater. Anyway, we are just going to cover, if you can see, cover the Elmer's glue like you do paint. Okay, I am just going to be doing this section to this section right now. And you want to get a thin layer of the paint. Okay, if you can see that thin layer of glue, glue. Paint the glue on. So the glue goes on first. Nice. Oh, not even, just cover it. You can just cover it right now. Right, but what you want to do is you want to go the same brush strokes. I know I'm going all over right now, but that's just to get the glue even on where I'm going to put the paint. So if you can see, there's a nice thin layer of the glue, all-purpose Elmer. Well, it's supposed to be Elmer's glue. Let's hope that this generic stuff does the trick. Okay, and then after you get the glue all smeared on, you're going to want to get a thin coating all over. All right, and you want to get about the same amount of glue all over the wood. And you want it to go in one direction. Okay, so if you can see this, the way I'm going here with just the back and forth smoothing, because you don't want that. Okay, you don't want that. You want those brush strokes to look like brush strokes. Even glue. Okay, now you're going to want to let this sit, not very long, just enough for it to dry a little bit. I am going to get this in, take a little more glue. You kind of have to work fast, but not super fast. Okay, so the glue is starting to dry a little bit, if you can see it. All right, we're just going to go to the edge there. Okay, now we are going to take, I have just wall and trim latex paint, white. And then we are just going to take a little bit of the white, paint it right over the top of the Elmer's glue. Okay? probably could get that a little closer, but I don't want to wear it. I know I do have my good clothes on. You can remark about that, but all of the clothes that I wear come from the thrift store, so I don't care too much about them. So if anybody sees me in public and they say, "Oh, you look nice," oh, well, guess what? Came from the thrift store. I'm thrifty. Okay, so you're going to want to cover this paint with an even coat just like you did the Elmer's glue. All right? While the Elmer's glue is still wet, and if you can see, I try not to go over it too much, but you do want to cover it and get a pretty thin coat over that Elmer's glue and just go the same direction, okay? If you can see, I'm kind of flowing in the same direction. And what this is going to do is this is going to make the crackle. Okay, so when the glue dries, it is going to separate the paint because when it dries, it just kind of dries with the paint, but that does make a crackle finish. And you want to get this on as even as you possibly can. Okay? Okay. And need a little more paint right there, but it's not going to matter. It's supposed to look kind of rough. Oh, that didn't look good. But you can cover it over, feather it. That means just very lightly put paint over the top of that. Okay, we are done. We are done, okay, with that process. If you want to speed up the process a little bit, I do have a heat gun. Let's see if I can find the extension cord. Okay. I usually try to let the paint dry naturally, but since I'm videoing this, I don't know if I can hyperlapse it because I'm not that tech savvy. We are going to use a heat gun and dry the glue and the paint. Not real close. If you can see it, it is starting to crackle, like right in here. These doors are actually going upstairs, and they are going to be slider doors. But to fit with the decor of the house, it is an old farmhouse. So to keep up with that theme, I thought, I don't want to sand these all down because that takes forever, and if you do sand them down, I know it's beautiful, beautiful wood. Okay, these doors were free. Okay, and like I said, you don't want to get I got a little bit too aggressive with that heat there. You can see the paint bubbling up a little bit. You don't want that, but hey, it's going to be fine. It's just paint, right? So if you can see, if I can get it closer, look how that's crackling. Okay? And then when it dries, it's even going to be more crackle. Now you can go over this with like a wax if you wanted to make it more of an antique feel. or you can just leave it as is, but as it dries even more, like I said, that crackle will just keep crackling. And then that is going to be your finished product. But don't get too aggressive with this heat gun here like I did, unfortunately, because that way these little bubbles come up. And it's okay, but I personally don't like it. It's kind of cool, but yeah. So anyway, this is the fun part of home ownership, okay? You can go outside, work in your yard, in your garage, crackle a door anytime you want. So just remember, home ownership is amazing. And if you are living in an apartment and you want to get into a house, call me.